This is an overall implementation list, if you will, or just kind of the process that we normally go through in one form or another, depending on our clients and how they want to work. If you're a corporate client and you're new to us and you want to, say, deploy over 50 resident portals to your 50 communities, well, we certainly have a way to work with corporate clients that may be different from a client who's got 2 or 3 communities and wants to kind of do things on their own. We're flexible enough to do things both ways, but the general process will be the same. I will say that at the corporate level, we've made enough videos in here, I think 50 now, and we have a very kind of good process that we've gone through from all of the other implementations that we've performed in order to work with somebody at the corporate level to help them manage the deployment through all of their communities. And we have corporate guideline books, we've got a community implementation guidebook, we've got marketing letters you send out to and put into your mailings that you send out, we've got introductory letters to the family, we've got tracking worksheets. Basically, we can handle any size company, and we'll work with you how you want to work. Bottom line, though, if you're a company that wants to save a lot of money, we've given you enough information within these videos to implement and operate the resident portal successfully on your own. So let's just go ahead and kind of get started through this process. The first thing you want to decide on is branding. What are you going to call your resident portals? Are you going to use your corporate name with some word after it? Some of our clients, like Arbor Management, calls theirs Cyber Seniors. Ecumen up in Minnesota calls theirs Ecumen Connects. We have quite a few different names out there. So feel free to take our technology and brand it as your own. So once you've decided on branding, we'll get together and we will start to move forward. At the community level, the first thing that we want to do is make sure that the person who's going to be the community champion is getting trained properly. So we will train all of your community champions, or again, if you're at the corporate level and you've decided to take this on your own and you know the system well enough, then go ahead and train them on your own. But we do offer training, and we train each community just depending on how you want to work. And I guess the whole point of number 2 is before you move forward, you want to make sure that the person at the community level who is the community champion feels comfortable with the system. They know enough about it where they can answer a question from somebody. They start to see ways that your particular community would benefit, not just from the resident standpoint, but from marketing and maybe even some business operational functions that are inherent in using the resident portal as well. So point is, number 2, community champions, make sure you feel good about the system and you understand how to work it properly and get the most out of it. Now, the third thing is to populate the resident portal. We will populate all of your resident portals for you initially. All you have to do is send us your resident's first name and last name, and if you have pictures of them, great, we'll put those in there for you as well. And we will also need the email addresses of those residents that have one. And we will also need the name of the staff members that are going to be listed on your resident portal, along with their job title, and if you want to put a short bio together for each one, great, and their pictures as well. Point is, once you've learned how to use the resident portal and you see that it can hold quite a lot of information, give that information to us, and we have an automatic way of populating all of the database for you. So we make that really easy for you. Now, once that's ready, and you've maybe populated it with some newsletters or you've put some other things in there, it's time to introduce it to the staff if you haven't already. Point is, you being the champion, it's going to be up to you to kind of tell other staff members about how to use it. So that means maybe you're going to sit down at the table one afternoon or around lunchtime and give a little tutorial for a half of an hour. If you don't feel comfortable with doing that, we can certainly do it for you. And if you're at the corporate level, obviously you want to make sure that you've got all these videos available to all your staff members at all your communities. Again, there's 50 videos in here, I think, right around 50, and there should be nothing that we've not recorded as far as a function or how something works, and it'll be it's a nice way for you to help the staff members get introduced to the resident portal. So now that you've decided on your branding and you've been trained and you feel good about how to use it, that's populated, and the staff knows about it, before we introduce it to the residents, the next step is kind of crucial. We've got a marketing letter or an introductory letter that we give to you that you can change and brand as your own to send out to the family members. You send out the introduction letter to your resident portal to all the family members of all your residents. Now, the reason why we do that is because it asks the family members to go to the resident portal, then to log in, and then to start communicating with their loved one at your community. Now, once that happens, you'll start to notice that 5 or 6 residents are getting mail from family members. So instead of doing a big launch and confusing the residents initially, what you do is you just sit them down, you help them access their mail through the computer, and you don't need to get into how it works or what it does or anything like that. All they know is that they have mail from their family member, and then you maybe even help them type a letter back. That's their first introduction to it. Now, once maybe that goes on for a couple of weeks and they're starting to ask you questions, the next part is to launch your resident portal. I'm sorry, I missed a slide here. Launch your resident portal formally. There's a couple of different ways to do that. A lot of people will go ahead and do what's called a launch party. It's a great way to do it. And again, it's in the guidebooks on how to do this. And we even have an invitation for you that you can change and send out. And what that is you want to get as many people together in a room that are family and residents as if you're having a Thanksgiving or a Halloween party or something, and give a presentation on the big screen TV and show it to the residents at the same time as you're showing it to the family members. Serve food and make a party out of it. Okay? You'll notice that the residents really like it because the family members really like it as well. And you, at the same time, you want to ask those family members to reach out to all their other family members all over the country to start working with the resident portal. Now, pretty much everybody's on board, and it's now time for if your IT department wants to, if you want to, if you have a corporate website or even if you have a community website, post a link to your resident portal homepage on your website, so people who are coming by can sign up and get on the prospects list. It's not something you don't want to advertise. You want to get the word out as much as possible, right? Now, along with that, what you're going to start to do is implement it slowly into different activities, and that could be anything from Sunday afternoon web conferencing visits to Wednesday night casino night using the games function, to Book of the Month Club using audiobooks, to museum tours, to web camera, let's go virtual travel. There's a list, there's a video in here with I think about 12 really popular activities that our communities and our clients already use that seem to be really successful. And so those are spelled out for you. My point is, put it in your activities calendar, slowly implement it depending on the type of community that you have. Implement it slowly for assisted living, independent living, or 55 plus. Just turn it on and let them go. But with assisted living, you kind of want to take your time and build it slower. And one activity which is really great is to just have a half an hour once a week on a new feature of the resident portal. And that's another way to do it. We also have user guidebooks for the residents. It's in large font that you can place next to the computers. It's 5 pages that kind of walks them through step by step how to do things on the portal. Once you're up and rolling and you start to see your population increase, then you want to continue increasing your usage, and there's a video on how to do that, but that can mean anything from like talking to the local high school to have some of the kids come over and start working with particular residents, having the high school become friends of residents to the system, and just slowly immersing them so there's a larger community that gets built, and that includes using the prospect database, using the marketing, showing the resident portal to folks who are coming on a tour of your community, and a wide variety of things that we get to you. So that's kind of an overview of the process that you go through. Even if you don't use our implementation guidebooks, you could probably take a look at this and kind of figure it out and do it on your own. Okay, so that's it. Thanks.